welcome everyone. My name is Holly Whittles and I'm just going to be talking you through a career in music. So your challenge for the next 15 minutes is to try and put your phones down, turn off email, try and really be present and listen to what I'm going to go through with you. So I started when I was age 4 learning how to play musical instruments. So I started with the recorder. I then learnt clarinets, piano, saxophone, flute. I've even been known to play the triangle. And I play in lots of different orchestras. I play in pit bands for musicals. I give chamber ensembles. I give recitals. And basically I do as much music as I can alongside running 2 other businesses. And I feel music definitely benefits my corporate life. And if you want to know a bit more about this, I even did a TEDx talk on it last year. So if you don't know what a TEDx talk is, I'd highly recommend you having a look at them. Go onto YouTube, put in TEDx, and there's pretty much a talk on any subject you could ever think of by really, really interesting people. And they've just got a very short amount of time to get some information across to you. But why even bother learning music? So I was really lucky when I was at school, music was embedded throughout the curriculum, but I didn't realise that while I was actually learning how to do music and how to play musical instruments, it had a huge impact on the way that my brain was working. And it can actually increase your IQ by 7 points, not only in children, but also in adults as well, which is a bit crazy. And the University of Surrey did a lot of studies around this, and they found that if you just play or do some music for 1 hour per week, it can massively improve things like hearing, memory, hand control. So it's unbelievable the effects just learning music can have on you. And there's a lot of science behind music as well. They've done MRI scans, and they've done functional MRI scans. That's where you go into like a massive scanner and you've got all the magnets going around you. So they put someone in and he was like playing a violin just to see what happened to the brain while they were playing a musical instrument. And both sides of the brain were firing at the same time. So they've done a lot of work around rehabilitation of people that have been in accidents, and they've exposed them to music and got them banging drums and playing the piano, and it's actually helped them recover. And there's a famous British composer called Benjamin Britten, and he actually suffered, sadly, a few different strokes. But the one thing that he could continue doing was music. So it really does help with cognitive brain learning. And I think it's really important to carry on with the creative arts, especially in a world where people are trying to digitally detox. There's increased anxiety, depression. People are feeling like they're failing at work-life balance. We've got a global pandemic going on, and a lot of people are having digital overwhelm. And you can use music as escapism as well. It can make you feel good. It transcends race, religion. It breaks down barriers. It gives you those really good feel-good endorphins. But I didn't realize that all these skills that I was learning through playing musical instruments actually has helped me in my business world as well. And if you think about all the different roles that you might do if you were playing in an orchestra, so for example, the conductor is a leader of an orchestra, but from a business point of view, they are the manager, they are the boss. If you play in an ensemble, if you perform in an ensemble, you're learning how to be a team player. And that exactly translates to sports as well. You have to understand how to play in a team, how to play and work out a strategy, how to communicate with people. It makes you good at networking, walking into a room of people that you don't know and sitting down and playing instruments with them. It builds those social skills. And there's different types of music as well. So for example, jazz type music where you have to do a lot of improvisation. That's like a real creative ideas person that you might want to use from a business point of view. Things like being confident in speaking, standing up in front of people. I got all of that from doing music. And also, most importantly, is learning things like patience, waiting your turn. So because I tend to specialise in woodwind instruments, in an orchestra, there's loads of violins, loads of cellos, loads of string instruments. There's not that many woodwind and brass. So we are not playing all of the time. So we pretty much have to wait and wait for our turn to play. So I think music teaches you that resilience as well, traveling to concerts, trying to navigate your way around narrow country lanes to get to a concert hall. And even things like multitasking. Once you get into musicals and you're playing lots of different instruments, you have to be able to quickly swap from a clarinet to a flute to a saxophone and have them all hanging around your neck. So it teaches you these amazing skills, because essentially, no matter what happens, the show must go on. So even listening to music, it's helping your hearing skills. And I bet you probably didn't even realize when you listen to music and maybe if you get that like shiver down your spine, if you've ever had that, your brain is wired slightly differently. And if you think about films that we watch, so things like Star Wars, what would that be without the music that John Williams composed to go with it? You know, things like the Imperial March with all the stormtroopers. That music is absolutely iconic and it really builds the emotion and the feel behind it. If you've ever tried watching Star Wars without the music, it's actually quite strange, and some people have put it on YouTube, so it's worth Googling it. But a lot of people that I work with, I work a lot in IT as well, they use music to help them focus. They put headphones on so they can really think about what they're doing, and it helps them concentrate. So Classic FM did a lot of research around this, and they found that people that are doing music have improved memory and abstract reasoning skills. And this helps you in subjects like maths and science and the STEM subjects. So my main point is, and I give this talk to adults as well, is that 20% of children learn to play music and 70% of adults wish that they had. So I'd highly encourage you, even if you don't pick music as a career now, is to do it while you can. Get yourself in choirs, ensembles, orchestras, bands, you know, when we can return to doing stuff in person together. But even in this lockdown pandemic, what we've been doing as musicians is recording together. And then we're putting all of our work and making fun video compilations through things like Zoom. We've done live concerts through Zoom. So I work at a local musical theatre academy called TACT, the Arts Centre Telford. And we've done loads of stuff putting live concerts out, and we've carried on teaching instruments virtually. So there's still things that you can do even though we can't meet in person. And I found that there was a very interesting documentary that the BBC did about a school where Ofsted had put it into special measures, and they were trying to work out what they could do to help improve this school. And one of the changes that they made was they employed a music teacher, and everyone started learning instruments, and there was a massive spike in all of people's grades going up. So don't let your love of music or sports hold you back. Take every opportunity that you can, because I've definitely found the benefits through running a business, but also going into a career in music. So I basically blend probably about 60% of my time running a business and 40% being a professional musician. So I get asked to play in professional recordings, I get booked to play in orchestras, I get booked to accompany people. So there's loads of different things that I've managed to do, making a career out of music. But if you want to go 100% as a career in music, there's loads of different opportunities. You could become a performer, you could go into the recording industry, you could be a journalist if you're really good at words, you could write and review music, you could go into music as a teacher. There's radio and television, there's all sorts of different organisations that you could join. And very simply, doing things like grades in instruments can help you, like the ABRSM or Trinity or LCM. There's loads of different qualifications you can do. And I had the opportunity to go to music college, but at the last minute I chose to go to a business school. So it was always on the knife edge to me as to which way I went, but I've made sure that I've carried that love of music all the way through. So if music and the arts is something that inspires you, don't be disheartened with the situation that we're currently in. Still go for your dreams, and maybe even you want to do something like I have and blend working in a business alongside a professional music career as well. So music as a career, I think it's a really, really exciting industry, and you've got the opportunity to work in an area that rewards you for having a passion in music and the arts. Networking is a really, really important aspects of that. So you'll be able to collaborate with other like-minded people. Some of my best friends, even to this day, are people that I met from when I was back at school, when I played in the county school and music bands, people that I've known for a very, very long time. Usually you'd need something like a bachelor degree to be a music teacher or a music director, but actually you don't need to have a degree, so you can just go through it through a different route, but generally you do tend to go through that route to become a So you could do associate degrees, you could do a bachelor's degree, a post-secondary degree. But I did the ABRSM music grade, so I went all the way through to grade 8 on several of my instruments, and then I did performance diplomas on them as well. So I just took every single opportunity that I could. And I was recording last week. I had to drive to Worcester, and we had to do all these like COVID risk assessments. And it was very weird playing in an orchestra where we were completely all spread out. So there's about 2 or 3 meters between me and the next chair. And then we had all these like screens around us, and we all had to wear masks and everything. But it was absolutely amazing to be able to make music again. And it's going to be live streamed on the 23rd of December, I believe. So whatever you decide to do, my main message is do what you love. So if there's something you're really, really good at, pick that and choose that. So thank you very much. I hope that's given you some good ideas of things that you could do with music and the arts.